Good afternoon.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's okay.
Introduce yourself, please.
Volodymyr Maxim Arakovich, Sergeant, 74th Brigade, 2nd Battalion, 5th Company.
What is your date of birth?
April 4th, 1978.
City?
Tomsk Region, Provimeski District, Orokovo Village.
Mobilized?
Mobilized.
Were you in the army?
Served. 96th through 98th. Tomsk Higher Military Communications Command School, Training Support Battalion. Sergeant, Chief of Hardware, E351, Energy.
Your education?
Novosibirsk State Agrarian University, Department of Biology and Hunting Science.
This is the first time I've heard of a specialty in hunting science. Did you study for 5 years?
5 years.
Tell us briefly what they teach and what such a specialist does.
He must take care of the lands assigned to him, monitor the renewal and the number of animals on these lands. He must issue the appropriate permits for the shooting of one species or another.
Are you worried?
No. I'm absolutely calm, and I even enjoy giving interviews.
What's nice about it?
Because I'm guessing there are about 60 people there, and you picked me.
Do you consent to the recording and publication of the conversation?
Yes, I give my consent.
Why?
Because I'm not afraid of anyone.
Oh, that's great. You can opt out, and nothing will happen, and what we just said will be on file in the opt-out folder. We need those people, too.
I don't want to.
Do you know why we collect rejects?
No.
Your guess?
Well, I guess if someone gets in a second time.
No. If people agreed to be interviewed, we interview them and publish them, and if they didn't agree, we keep the recordings. Why? I don't know. If various international observers ask us whether the prisoners talk to us voluntarily or under duress, we can provide them with evidence. Here are the 200 people who refused, and the records were not published.
Everything is completely voluntary. I have been a prisoner since January 25th, and no violent actions have been applied to me since then.
What do you know about Zmeny Island?
Just saw on the news today that it was destroyed, and the AFU border guards planted a flag there. I don't know when, but they took it back, right?
It has long since been taken back. Here's a picture of the island. How were you mobilized?
On October 20th, a summons came. I went to the military registration and enlistment office, and they sent me to a medical commission at the assembly point. In half an hour the commission concluded that I was completely healthy.
And you rejoiced, all right, I'm going to war.
Plus they said, you're 44 years old, you have a driver's license. At one time I worked briefly on shifts, on trucks, it was all noted. So I was promised that I would either work as a driver or in my specialty, energy support.
You make it sound as if you have been deceived.
Of course.
Has your beloved country deceived you?
As soon as I arrived, I was immediately told that I was a rifleman. I was in the second wave of mobilization, because I ignored the first summons.
And when did you receive your first summons?
The summons came on the 20th. I went to the enlistment office and was told to wait for a phone call. I missed several phone calls. Then the summons to report to the military enlistment office came. I ignored it and went to work for 2 weeks in the north of the Tomsk region. When I came back, everything seemed calm. Then my mother said that a policeman came to her, and my parents live 150 kilometers away from the regional center. He was looking for me. When my mother asked him why he needed me, the policeman didn't answer anything, got in his car, and drove away. Later I received a summons to report to the Military Registration and Enlistment Office on the 25th, and from there I was sent to the town of Urga. That's where the 74th Brigade is stationed. I received my uniform, signed certain documents, and on the 26th I was sent by bus to the city of Novosibirsk. The civilian plane was practically full. I take it, because no one said anything, from Novosibirsk we were poisoned to Rostov. In Rostov, KAMAZ trucks were already waiting for us on the runway, literally 10 meters away. One is for things and the other two are for people. After that I was taken to Donetsk Oblast. There we received weapons. It is unclear where they came from and it is unclear what kind, but we signed for them.
What do you mean, unclear from where?
One machine gun was painted yellow and white, its barrel could not be seen, it was all so dirty. It was impossible to disassemble it without some means, such as pliers, because the weapon was so worn out. Some even had an automatic rifle without a scope.
How long have you been training on the range?
Classes started on the second day. But there were no classes as such. We were shooting at targets, but no one went to look at the targets. We were given tracers to at least understand if you were shooting that way or not.
Did you hit the target? How many shots did you fire?
We shot there for 3 or 4 days, then set it up.
3-4 days at 1,000 rounds a day is 3,000 rounds.
1,000 rounds of ammunition were given to us per platoon or so.
In short, 30 rounds a day.
Yeah, no more than that. Then we were digging bunkers, setting up the camp, the commanders came, I can't say who exactly, I think one general, then another. But I never saw any of them in person.
So you were making mock-ups of fortifications for some general to come and say, okay?
Yes. And on the 20th, I was thrown back to Krasnoretchinskoj again with a group of 10 people. Here we were given very different weapons, also a Kalashnikov AK-74 and a bulletproof vest. It was the 24th, and we were sent out on the morning of the 25th to positions somewhere beyond Krasnoretchinskoj. We started setting up there. We didn't have anything warm with us, so we slept in what we had. Several people got frostbite. After the first night we were told that we had to stay here for 2 days, and then others would take over. My fellow officer and I were sent to the evacuation site, where we were left with water and dry rations. It was about 5 o'clock, it was still light, but it was starting to get dark. We were sent to get these dry rations because the guys were hungry. We reached the place, took some of these dry rations in our backpacks, as we had no bag with us, shoved water under our flak jackets, and moved back to our positions along the wooded area. And since it was already dark, all alike, we passed our wooded area, or rather the place where ours were stationed. They didn't notice us. Apparently, they were asleep. And we were so tired and cold that we just kept walking. No landmarks, everything was the same. Suddenly we heard a voice, "Stop!" "Who's coming?" I said. "We're from the 74th Brigade, we went to get provisions." "What brigade are you from?" And they say to me, "Stop! Don't move. Put your hands up." Then I guessed from the conversation that we were not with our own people. It was a reconnaissance group, one scout led us through, the other stopped us, and we instantly decided to surrender, because no fighting was out of the question and there was no other way out.
What do you mean, decided to surrender? You have already been captured. Let's call things by their proper names and let's not confuse the terms.
We decided not to run anywhere, because there was no point, because life is one.
What did those NATO soldiers tell you? Who was there? The Italians? Spaniards?
No, it was the armed forces of the Ukrainian state, the AFU. They treated us to coffee, and I can even say that.
Now you're going to ruin all the propaganda.
The commander of the unit that detained us, after clarifying who we were, said that we would wait until morning under escort, and in the morning they would come and take us to another place. And since I was the only one smoking, he put 2 packs of cigarettes in my pocket before he left. I had the lighter. And to those who were watching us, he said, "Don't take Maxim's cigarettes away," he said. I gave it to him personally. I don't know what the man's impulse was, since I was an enemy to him and must be disgusted.
Obviously, because he is a Nazi. Why are you not telling the truth? Why do you say what really happened and not what they want to hear? Why do you break propaganda?
Because I haven't seen a single Nazi here. At this point I have been here exactly 1 month.
How many mercenaries have you seen?
I haven't seen one.
How many people talk to you in Russian?
100%.
What does propaganda say there, with you? Why did you even come here?
I don't know.
Please tell us what you, at the time you were mobilized, knew about what was going on here.
That the enemy, the Nazis, are here.
What is the enemy and fascists here? Do you realize that you are talking nonsense?
I understand now.
No, not even the word now. What do you care what happens somewhere far away? How many kilometers from your home to the Ukraine?
4,000.
What do you care about our country? What are we doing here? What language do we speak? Why do you care? We, for example, don't care what's going on in your country. You could commit mass suicide, jump off a bridge and drown. I'm curious, you said you knew there was a war here, and in your right mind you went to war? Why? Why didn't you go to Italy or Turkey to look for fascists? You have a higher education, which allows you to build logic chains in your head. We've been at war for 10 months. Did you know what was going on here?
I didn't know about the losses.
What losses?
I saw with my own eyes fields strewn with Russian soldiers.
This is understandable, but why didn't you, a grown man with a higher education, put 2 and 2 together? If they recruit all mobilized men of all ages, what is the simplest conclusion to be drawn from this?
Soldiers are missing.
Why not enough? You have an army of millions, according to Wikipedia. What happened to the contract army? You're 44 years old and you can't put 2 puzzles together in your head? If they start recruiting everyone through subpoenas and catching people. They came for you, the police were looking for you.
So there is no army.
Where are the soldiers?
They are either killed or wounded.
That's exactly right. Which begs the question, are you doing well there, in that army, if you can't win? Let's remember geography. Do you know how much smaller Ukraine is than your country? How many times smaller is it?
Several dozen times over.
22 times, I think. You couldn't Google in December, what's going on, open the internet. What news did you watch in Russia?
We have federal channels.
What did you hear on the news?
That all is well, ours is advancing on all flanks, the Russian Federation is helping everyone with humanitarian aid.
And in reality?
The reality is different.
And what?
In reality, killed and wounded.
How many dead and wounded did you see? You've been in a bit of a war.
Let's say 4 people for a kilometer who have been lying for more than a day.
Why didn't you pick them up, in case it was someone important? Don the Chechen is lying down. Did you really walk around the dead for 4 days and not evacuate them?
Not for 4 days, but twice.
You passed by twice. What did you feel? I, as a human being, don't understand. You are walking, your soldier is lying, I understand, a bad soldier, because he is an occupant. Take him away, let them take him back to his homeland. How did you explain it to yourself? Why are they lying there?
Carelessness.
No, carelessness is about something else. You realize it's just a crime, and you're an accomplice. I mean, you went there. You should have picked it up and taken it. Or let them lie there and rot? The horror. Even the Wagner soldiers take their dead. I see that you find it difficult to breathe, the subject is unpleasant. It turns out that you are being lied to on TV?
Yes, they cheat.
Why do they do it? Let's answer all the questions.
I can't tell you why they do it. They don't talk about any of the victims on TV. No one knows the number of people killed.
You have 6,000, they say. That's a blatant lie. Why do they do that?
They hide the facts to avoid outrage.
Who sent you here?
State.
Who exactly?
Executives.
Name a name, or is it a group of people? Who did you vote for?
In the last election, in the previous one, for Putin Vladimir Vladimirovich.
How long has this Tsar been in power?
Since the 2000th year, then, it's on its way to the 23rd year.
Your commander-in-chief sent you here to do what?
He sent most of them to their deaths.
It's a consequence of thinking you have the second army of the world, but it turns out to be the last. Tribes with copies fight better. What went wrong in Ukraine?
I don't understand why and how it all started in the first place. And even when people already realize how many innocent, civilian people are being killed, not to mention the military. The military is understandable.
Wait, what does this is understandable mean?
I mean, if you're drafted by a state like the Russian Federation, it's understandable that you could die.
I agree, the occupiers are the meat.
And your army, not 1.5 million, but the bulk of it is also all mobilized, as far as I have seen.
Of course I did. Because you came and violated our boundaries.
Why don't they make contact at the highest level? We're not living in the Middle Ages anymore. Why can't they come to an agreement?
Why don't we want to negotiate?
I haven't followed the news for a long time and I don't know who is offering and who is not going for peace talks.
You want negotiations, and you've been trumpeting this for the last 3 months, so that our leadership would sit down with you at the negotiating table, but free people don't talk to terrorists, and you're terrorists. Why are you bombing peaceful cities? Can you answer me? I will answer you. Because on the battlefield you don't get anywhere. Launching 100 cruise missiles is the annual budget of your federal district, and with these launches and the bombing of peaceful cities, you watch TV, you kind of force us to sit down at the negotiating table and negotiate. But it's not going to be like that. Our president cannot sit down at the negotiating table now, his people will not understand, because you have destroyed and killed too much already. You, who were programmed through TV and sent to die with rusty machine guns, don't even pick up your own tribesmen. I hope you have no doubts that you're an occupant? Can you interpret this term?
An occupant is a person.
Like me, you mean you.
One who came to the territory of a foreign country with the aim of capturing, to subjugate.
That's right. Does it feel good to be a murderer? You're also a looter, because you lived in someone else's house. No one gave you the right to be in it, whether it was abandoned or not. You told me it was abandoned, and I have to believe that. But there are a lot of people who are sitting in a cell who tell me how they opened houses and ate canned food there and things like that. When asked, why? They say they had nothing to eat. You are all looters, without exception, as soon as you cross the threshold of someone else's civilian home. You were supposed to be given tents, and you were supposed to live in a tent city, not in other people's houses. Haven't you thought about that? You're a war criminal, a looter. How will it end?
I think it has to end somehow. Judging from the news I watch here, freedom, right? And the Ukrainian news feed, everything will end within this year with the victory of the armed forces of Ukraine.
This is not even up for discussion. Definitely. Is there any suggestion that you can win?
No, I don't see them. It's not the army that needs to be defeated, but the people that need to be destroyed.
From the bonuses. Your son and you will pay us for the rest of your life. It's called reparations. You know that scenario? What those people who were lying there died for, can you tell me?
I can't answer that question.
There were people and there were no people. What good did Putin, your Tsar, do? Name me 3 things. Let's put it this way, what good has Putin done for you and for your son?
After he came to power, thanks to various agreements, the Chechen War was ended.
You still pay them.
That's clear.
Terminated?
The main thing is that people are no longer dying.
Okay, terminated. You do realize that it was only stopped because it could no longer physically continue, right? And how was the war ended?
It's hard to answer.
Why was the First War lost and the Second War won? What fundamentally changed between the First and Second Wars?
The troops were not prepared in the First War, and they are not prepared now either.
That's understandable. No, something happened there. What was the difference between the First Chechen War and the Second Chechen War?
The corrupt generals.
This is the right vector of thought. But not your generals. All right, let me give you a hint. Remember the Vietnam War? US and Vietnam. Who won?
In fact, Vietnam, albeit with the heaviest losses.
Could the armies of Vietnam and the United States be compared?
No.
Okay. The analogy to the First Chechen War, a huge Soviet Union with a lot of equipment. Did you know that the number of paratroopers and armored vehicles in the USSR was greater than in the entire modern European Union?
Of course. The army was strong.
They produced tanks, APCs and planes around the clock. Hello. Good evening. Video works, look at the screen. If you want to talk to your father, I need your consent to record and publish this conversation.
Okay, I confirm.
Don't tell me exactly where you are.
Son, hi. I'm a prisoner.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
How are Grandpa and Grandma? If you call them, don't upset Grandma, don't tell her where I am. That is, tell her that you talked to me, that everything is fine with me. You can call Uncle Roman, you can tell him the truth. How's school going?
Got it. It's okay.
Clear. You can call Uncle Roman right after our conversation, he is just not sleeping yet. That's it.
Are you all right there?
It's okay, God willing, I'll be home soon. I missed you. Do you talk to your grandmother often?
Once a week or so.
Call her tomorrow.
They're always asking me what's going on. I'll make them happy that you called, because they're very worried that you didn't say anything for a month.
Everything is fine.
Are you talking about me?
I'm doing fine, and so are you.
Okay, I guess I won't drag this out then.
You can still talk. Talk.
So tell me something. What's the weather like?
The snow is melting.
Has the snow melted? Oh, yeah, okay, I kiss you.
See you soon.
Yes, God willing, everything will be fine and we will meet soon. Call Uncle Roman and tell him not to bother Grandma, too. Tell him everything's fine. There you go.
Okay, I will.
All right, see you later, kisses.
Traditionally, at the end, the prisoners of war address their fellow countrymen.
Guys, you don't have to go to war here. Not under any circumstances. Officially, I have seen with my own eyes, there are no Nazis or fascists here. Here are the citizens of a free country, their country. Defenders of Ukraine. I think I would have seen at least one negative person in a month, but I only saw defenders of my country. And for the fact that I was captured alive, I thank fate. If you come here, not everyone will be so lucky.